Welcome to Shrouded Realities, coming to you over the airwaves thanks to the inventions of a certain historical figure.
A certain one.
A certain one.
We don't know which one yet.
Yeah, they do.
We're talking about
it. It was in the title that they clicked on.
Yes.
Or should we put his name in the title?
Maybe not.
Maybe
This man invented the world.
This man.
Clickbait. Here.
This man was silenced for his inventions.
He's actually an alien.
Nikola.
Possibly.
I think so.
He could be.
He was one of those, like, out
could be
there.
Otherworldly for sure. His name's Nikola.
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 That was perfect.
That was pretty good. Yeah, Nikola Tesla. How'd y'all enjoy the study?
I'm gonna be honest. Like I was like, yeah, okay.
I started out okay,
I did too.
and then I found some
Yeah, and then
shrouded
I
stuff.
felt like this was gonna be a documentary of
Yeah.
like, well, he was born.
was born in Serbia.
Yeah. Modern day Croatia.
He was born at midnight in a lightning storm.
And the midwife said,
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's right.
No, it was. He was going to be a dark.
He was going to be a child of darkness.
Child of darkness.
And the mother proclaimed,
This is
No.
a
Child of light.
this will be a
child of light.
I mean, that sounds like something that if you were writing your own autobiography,
Yeah.
which I think most of these is like autobiographies that he's written himself.
Or people just like propping him up,
Yeah,
like making
like-
him God status when he was just a weird.
he was born in a
Science guy.
lightning storm.
Who else
Like,
was? Everyone, a lot of people were born during a lightning storm.
Yeah.
I mean, just because this one guy, I mean, it might have been lightning the night I was born.
Yeah.
Probably so, because I mean, I'm just electric. But, you know,
Except, I was gonna go ginger on you, but I'm sorry, ginger.
you better chill out.
Ooh. Ooh. Can you lend a ginger pencil over here?
That was a funny-
That was a great video.
that was a funny-
Oh man.
Let's move on before we get in trouble. Nikola Tesla, born in Serbia. Oof. She got him.
Oof.
Got him.
Just that transition was not good.
Oh, dude, I stumbled across the History Channel, the Ancient Aliens
I
one.
don't like that, man. I stay
Dude,
away from that.
It was fun.
Was
It got me.
I'm
It
sure
got
it's-
me energized to like learn about history again.
Really?
Even though like History Channel, obviously they were going to be
Yeah, they're
I don't-
bought,
off
they're
the
bought
wall.
and paid for by the Smithsonian.
off the
They're-
wall, bouncing around. But it just, man, it made history fun.
That's true. I mean,
It does. And that's what we're trying to do right now. Just make history
make
kind of
history
fun.
Make
Yeah.
Nikolai Tesla fun.
Yeah.
And he's an interesting figure. Even if half
He
the
was a
stuff I
strange
heard
cat.
is not true, the rest of it was.
Yeah, what is true? Yeah.
What?
What got me? I keep saying tickle my fancy. I need to
Yeah.
quit because it
Yeah,
sounds
because
because
weird.
some people call themselves fancy.
Yeah.
Tickle
You're just tickling
my
yourself at
friend
that point.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Who's your friend?
I think I know a lady named Fancy.
I mean, here's your one chance, Fancy.
Don't let me down. Can't do that.
Ba-da-ba-ba-dow.
Can we do that on YouTube? Can we sing?
Yeah, it's
trust me,
it's cover.
we're not getting the likeness right
Not
at this
even
point.
close.
No. The only thing is, Reba's a ginger. Yeah,
Heck,
try
man.
to go for
Is that where we're going today?
Yeah.
We're gonna hammer your gingerness.
Can't say that
Can't say
either.
gingerness.
No, you
My
can't.
gingerness.
You can't say you're gonna hammer it.
He's a tender ginger over here. Roll on, Joey.
Yeah, I apologize to all the gingers of the world.
That was gross.
Put an H at the end to really pronunciate.
Ginger. Ha!
Ginger. What got me with Nikolai was his the end of life stuff. Like,
Yeah.
why is the CIA hovering around this guy?
FBI,
Was
yeah.
it FBI? Why was the FBI hovering around this guy, waiting for him to die? And then they snatched up all his research material,
Well, was he?
never to be seen again.
Yeah, and they called him crazy for.
Well, were they waiting on him to die, or did they just
they-
finish him off
Well,
because
I
they've
mean,
been waiting too
at his
long?
age, they could have slipped
Yeah.
the aspirin in his
Yeah.
water and would have
Yeah.
killed him.
Just
He's
too much.
86-year-old frail little dude.
Well, he was
Yeah.
already feeding pigeons. Like he was.
Yeah.
He was.
He
That
was at
far
that
gone.
stage.
Yeah, he was that far gone. He's bird watching.
He had a best friend pigeon.
Somebody said he was in love with a pigeon.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh,
How does that work?
Don't worry about that.
Sorry,
like the
Mom.
B movie, but with a pigeon.
Well, this guy was celibate.
Yeah, what's up with that? I know what you're talking about. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm behind.
The bee had a human girlfriend, and it was weird.
I've never watched the B movie, so I guess that's why I don't
Yeah.
get it.
If you ever want to see a bee go to court,
Is that the one? Is that the one that Seinfeld was in?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It is a weird movie.
All right, but
moving on.
I was going somewhere with that.
Sorry.
Yeah, the pigeons.
He was
Yeah,
in love with the pigeon.
Yeah, he was in love with
that pigeon.
There it is. I was thinking that
Oh my
too.
God.
That got me off track even more.
How do you go from like inventing? Never. You invent like a
biggest
new,
inventions in
You
the
created
world.
the world.
Yeah.
You created the modern world
Yeah.
completely.
Where we're at now is because of Nikola
The
Tesla.
reason that you're able to sit and watch this on television or whatever you're watching it on is because of his inventions.
Cell phone,
Yeah.
radio,
Mm-hmm.
electricity.
Yep.
And he dies in
Wireless
a hotel
charging.
room.
Well, dude, this guy, like, while he was the smartest man on the planet, he had the worst luck out of any human being.
Yeah.
Ever.
No money.
Yeah,
He
died.
made a lot of bad decisions
Yeah,
too.
he
Well,
did.
he died
That put him
penniless.
there.
Yeah. But a lot of it was because he didn't really care about the
Yeah.
money side of it.
He wanted
At least
the
that's how
peop-
it's portrayed.
It's like
Yeah.
they say he wanted to help,
Humanity.
humanity.
Yeah.
And I guess that cost everything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
It's deep.
Well,
Mhm.
he wanted to help humanity, but he also wanted to build a death ray.
yeah.
So
Now,
was that
It was like
was that late in life?
I think
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was.
Like in the 40s.
I think
it was
he
during World War
was-
II.
Ah,
because he
Yeah.
went to the Russians with it, and the Russians were like, oh, no. And then he went to the Germans with it, which was bad. Probably shouldn't have done that during
Yeah.
that time frame.
yeah.
And then he went to the Americans, and everybody's like, nah, we're not doing this. Like, this is too much.
Yeah, then
Even the
Supposedly-
Americans said that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
God, dog.
Well,
was that?
why was the FBI hanging out waiting on him to die? Maybe because they had that information right there. They knew about this death ray because he had been sending plans not completed, but like, hey, this is what this thing's going to be capable of. Can wipe out a 1,000,000-man army. That's what he
Phew.
claimed.
Yeah, said it would
but they
be
went
the-
over that but decided the atomic bomb, which I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
you can harness the power of the sun, or you could just drop a slightly larger explosive.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it was. They said it was the weapon to end all wars.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it more powerful than a nuke, like you said?
Because you're harnessing like literally the power of the sun.
I mean, when you take the ions and you heat them up at their maximum
Distance.
thermodynamic range, then eventually things are going to die.
Everybody gonna die.
Well, you see how I was carrying us up a peak right there of just
Yeah.
big words
Yep.
that sounded really smart, and then I
Yeah.
just dropped it. I was like, oh yeah, poop.
Poop.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wait, so we've talked about the end of life of Nikola Tesla. What's some early stuff here? Where are we?
Well,
Gonna
they
live in
said
that.
that he, as a young boy, had inventions that he used insects to power things.
Huh?
What?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
I don't know, but this was on the History Channel.
He's got some
Was he the pod popper of the freaking
I don't
he
even
just
know what you
carrying like
do. You tie
forcing
strings?
mice to do things for him? Like what was he
put
doing?
strings on beetles and make them walk. I don't know, but basically,
Put him in a little power wheel. Just like a little,
yeah,
Yeah, he was running his home on beetles.
Yeah.
yeah, it's beetle juice.
That's what he called it. He called it
Beetle
Beetlejuice.
juice.
He said it 3 times and then they'd start moving to generate power.
But as a young boy, that's troubling. It's almost like the Jim Jones preacher thing, where like as a young child you do
Oh, yeah.
weird things. It's
He
like
He was holding
you're
funerals
gonna
for
be
cats.
different.
Burying
Yeah.
cats.
Yeah, he was holding funerals for cats. So,
yeah.
and he's
I
playing.
mean,
I mean, Nikola Tesla was playing flutes to control beetles or whatever.
let's say
he
you
was
walk
doing,
in,
so-
you get home after a long day at work, and you see like your 8-year-old son like controlling bugs to like make mechanical movement. And you're like, you gotta go.
Yeah, you're making a mental note of that. Of
Yeah.
like, this is going to be significant later in life. I know it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
What's going on right here?
yeah.
I'm going to hear about this later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is yeah.
Teachers calling on this one.
Yep.
Yeah, teachers are going to call. Hey, he's
Your
putting
son,
bugs in his pocket.
Your son collected 19 flies in the room, and they all are choreographed, like creating shapes at a whistle.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. We don't know what's going on, but all of the flies made a smiley face at once. He was doing something like this. It was
Yeah.
kind of strange. They did claim he was a wizard.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that
I
was the
guess so
thing.
if you're transmitting power across the world.
Yeah, they're well. I mean, thinking like the late 1800s.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Edison who has power at that point, but you've got pictures of Nikola Tesla sitting in a chair with lightning literally
Yeah.
surrounding him.
That was pretty cool.
And he's reading a book.
Yeah. That was
I
a pretty
mean,
cool picture.
That's aura right there.
Hey, yeah, no,
If
that's
it was TikTok era, he'd be
Oh, yeah.
that
alpha.
dude's rizzed up.
yeah.
Never will there be a more significant use of the word Riz than a dude sitting in a chair in a lightning storm reading a book.
No big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Speaking of Riz, did you come across anything about him with a chick?
He was celibate his entire life.
Son.
Dude, he just held all that. That's
went
where he
on-
kept all
Yeah,
his information.
You have the spectrum of one end you got old Oklahoma bomber, and then the other end you got Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
He went all in.
But he also was crazy. He was also in love with a pigeon at the end of it. So we got to think of that too.
Okay.
So,
Pigeonholed.
Maybe that's what got him there. Can't pigeonhole. What are you gonna do with a pigeonhole? Anyway, what?
This is- I mean, Mike Tyson. I mean, he's got the same thing with pigeons.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Maybe there's something with high IQ. Well, never mind. That's Mike Tyson. Moving on.
High IQ and holding it all in. Was that what you're thinking?
Something like that.
Those are two polar opposites. Mike Tyson and Nikola Tesla.
This with the pigeons, man. What's with the pigeons?
Except for the pigeons. That's the one common denominator.
Well,
Maybe the pigeons have energy.
one was punched in the head numerous times.
And one
The other was
held-
never hit in the head.
and he held it all in.
Yeah, the
He
other
held
one.
it all in.
The other one was never hit in the head.
That's a real magic trick. Where does it all go?
That's right, because you just always make it. So I don't know where you're hiding it. But he had like weird quirks even growing up.
Yeah.
Like he was measuring the volume of his food. Everything he ate, he would like look at it and he would measure it and get the volume of whatever it was.
This is why he was celibate.
So he never had a warm supper.
Yeah, I mean, because he was sitting there like doing math about his supper.
He sees like a woman's brassiere. He's like, "There's 300 milliliters of breast milk in there."
He probably could have been at the circus. He could have been at the fair guessing sizes. Probably.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah. He could tell you what you weighed, probably,
that's creepy.
and give you the volume of it.
This went way different than how I expected this show to go.
Welcome to Shrouded Realities. That's all I can tell you.
Yep.
It's just a screwed up stream of consciousness
Yeah,
by three
always-
idiots.
Derail the train, baby.
Yeah.
So on the History Channel, they kept saying that he says he was in contact with some kind of other kind.
That was
Yeah.
a question I had when you said he was a wizard. He's got some fallen angel type
Yeah.
thoughts going on.
Well, it was during the radio stuff when he was digging into that. We have jumped like to every part of this man's life so far.
this
But
is not
regardless,
a biography.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
definitely
We're hitting
not
the high points.
We're not the historians here.
Yeah.
But during the radio thing, he was learning how to. He really wanted to do a remote control boat, which he did.
Yeah.
But
The
he
hobby.
found out that while he was going through, he could hear radio waves, and he was hearing a beep from long distance while he
Okay.
was doing this. So that beep, he claimed it was from Mars,
Yeah.
is what he said.
I would
How he knows that? I don't know.
I don't know how you can
Where
tell
else
from
is
a
it coming
beep.
from?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
The 90 billion other planets in the
But-
universe.
Come to find out, he actually wasn't completely wrong about that. Scientists today say it was from Jupiter.
Okay, another red one.
So I don't really know how that works
He
either.
heard it.
Yeah, he heard it. He was picking up radio waves from Jupiter, supposedly.
Interesting.
Now, yet again, how do we know that today? How do we know that Jupiter's got beeps on it? I don't,
And what he heard. Like,
yeah. And we don't know. I mean, maybe he was just listening to somebody sending a telegraph. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what
He
they
said
claim.
it was like a 3-beep sequence deal. Like it was 3 beeps, and like it was consistently 3 beeps.
That would drive me
from
nuts.
Jupiter. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it was while he was working on whatever
Yeah,
he was
not
doing.
like he was hearing it in his head or nothing.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
it? Did it tell him? Did it indicate for him to do something? Was it like a
No,
guidance?
mm-mm.
Just a
It was
noise.
just 3 beeps
I never heard
Yeah.
that.
that come from Mars or Jupiter or
Which he says 3s, 6s, and 9s are significant numbers.
Yeah.
yeah. Didn't he
With
do
energy.
something? Didn't he do something where it always had to be divisible by 3?
Something crazy.
There was something weird that he had to do that everything had to be divisible by 3
What
for
was it?
him.
You told me something about his curling his toes.
Oh yeah, this was later in
yeah,
life. but-
OCD stuff.
yeah, he
Yeah.
had weird OCD stuff, but at night he would sit and flex his feet 135 times.
Oh my boy was a monkey.
He only slept for 3 hours. Yet again, there's the number 3. But he
130
only slept for 3 hours. And
135 divisible by 3.
I don't know. Probably.
We just
Doesn't
proved him
sound like it.
wrong.
Yep.
No, there's no way. There's a 5 in there.
Yeah, that wouldn't.
I think it is divisible by 3. 135
False.
divided by
That's not
3.
accurate.
Yeah, 45.
What?
What?
3 times 45 is 135.
I don't like this.
I just did the math. 135.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why does that seem so wrong?
Because
to
I
me?
remember
I know, right?
if you add all the numbers no matter how many digits there are or how many places there are. If you add them all up and they're divisible by 3, then it's so 135 is 5, 1, 6 plus 3 is 9. So yeah.
Yeah, 4, 5 is 9.
Yeah, I followed everything.
All
you
right,
said
this
right there.
is wonky. I'm out
So-
of
We
here.
just got super nerdy. We just got super nerdy.
But he claimed the reason he did it is because he was going to live to be 135 years old.
Right.
Clearly, that didn't happen.
You got halfway there.
But he died at
Maybe-
86, which
maybe
would be
he-
divisible by 3.
86 is not divisible by 3.
86 or 87.
Your third grade math teacher just got really mad.
My third grade
Divided
math
by
teacher doesn't know
3.
who I am.
Yeah, mine's
Yes.
probably dead.
28.666. So yeah, this
Ooh.
is not-
Then
Ooh.
I'm exactly
repeating,
right.
of course.
Repeating, of course. If
Yeah.
you know that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does repeating, of course, come from? Type it in the comments below. No, don't
I
you do
wanna
it.
do
Don't
it.
do it.
I love doing
Do
it.
not.
Hold it in.
I
Don't you
can't.
do
You
it.
can't set
No,
me
they
up like
have
that.
to. They have to do it in the comments below. If they get it right,
33.3.
we will give them-
repeating, of course.
repeating, of course.
What are we gonna get? We can't give nothing.
Yeah, we can.
Everybody's gonna know it.
You know what we're gonna give? A smile
A handshake.
and a wink.
Good
If
job.
you got it right,
Good job, you guessed it.
No.
And I don't get to say it.
you don't get to say it. You can't say it.
Click.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna do it next episode.
You know what? Actually, we will give the answer away at the end of this episode.
We'll go full blown.
Yeah. So if you wait till the end of the episode, it doesn't count. If I can see
But
when
if
you
they
left
don't
that
know,
comment.
if they don't know, they have to wait till the end of the episode.
Exactly.
Or skip forward.
And you want to
because
know.
they-
Trust me, you want to know. And if you haven't seen the video, you have to go watch it after that.
Do we
I may
get-
link it.
Do we get a full view if they skip to the end of the episode?
No, we would.
How does
not.
that work?
I don't know how that
Like if
works.
you started it like a YouTube, I'm just trying to give our people a hack so maybe they can get us a lot of views. We go hit, you start the show, you say this sucks, click to the end,
Mhm.
you watch the last 5 seconds.
It doesn't work that way.
Is it a full view?
No.
Dang it.
You would get your average watch hours would still suck
That's
like
true.
they do right now.
That's true. That's true. Thanks,
Why don't
Nikola
we-
Tesla.
Yeah,
I had-
Tesla.
Thanks a
If we had
lot.
DC current right now,
Yeah.
no, this wouldn't even matter because you
Yeah.
couldn't do
If
anything.
we had free energy, we'd have enough money to
He tried,
buy
but
more
daggum
shirts.
Edison was over here smoking daggum elephants with it.
Oh, dude, that's wild.
Yeah.
What
Dogs
the
and
crap was
elephants.
that?
You didn't hear that?
Yeah. I heard that on the History Channel.
Yeah, he was like, "No, we're not doing AC." So
Yeah.
Edison did, or
that
Tesla went and worked for Edison.
Yeah, and he was trying to. He was like
He was
telling
like, "Hey,
him,
man, I've got this thing that's better than yours. You should definitely
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you. You do it." And Edison's like,
Nuh-uh.
"No, not doing this. My stuff's better."
Mm-hmm.
Well, come to find out, he was wrong. But so Tesla leaves, goes to, I guess it was Westinghouse at that point, wasn't it? Leaves to go to Westinghouse.
Yep.
Mhm.
And he's like, "No, I'm doing AC. We're going to go AC power. That it makes more
Yeah.
sense."
If it wasn't for Westinghouse, it would have died.
They called it the Current Wars.
The current war. It's a good movie.
That's sick.
Yeah. That's a movie?
Yeah. Yep.
Is it about Tesla and Edison?
Mhm.
Look at that.
You would think inventing AC, you would be a trillionaire.
Well, he could have been. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But he they did their current wars. Edison was like, "No, I'm going to show how dangerous AC is," which it is. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If you're not smart with electricity, you're going to get hurt.
Mhm.
But to prove it, he went and electrocuted daggum elephants at like fairs.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going to a fair and being like, "Look how dangerous this is." Just killing an elephant.
How bad of a smell do you think that was, dude?
You know it's not that quick either. Like
Yeah.
No.
to zap an elephant.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just,
You've seen an electric chair execution.
Yeah.
You know why they-
Freaking brutal. Yeah.
you know what?
Freaking
Do
brutal.
you know what they used for an electric chair? Edison set that up
Really?
to be AC power. Yes. So you're just smoking dudes with AC power because Edison's like, "Nope, DC's better."
Just smoking dudes.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, for real.
That's wild. Yeah. Why was he so tied to DC? I mean, maybe it was because it was
was
his
his.
idea.
It was his.
So he was
You
just
just
like,
you know how when it's your idea, you're
But
just
it's
like,
not-
"Mine's better."
So where did it
Everybody does that.
transition? I'm sure it's in that movie, but where does it transition from him being like, all right, we got to go AC? Because obviously it won out.
I want to say it was at the fair. everything was fair related at this point.
That was
which
like
is
the
weird.
whole world.
It was the World Fair.
You had the World Fair. That's
Yeah.
a weird. That's a weird thing. When you,
It is. The World Fair is strange.
very strange.
Really?
But
Conspiracy theory?
Yeah, it's up there.
But Westinghouse, when he was part of Westinghouse, he took, was it a Tesla coil? What was it that he took to the World Fair there?
It
Where,
was something like that.
well, basically they were going to make, after that fair, whatever he took, they pretty much said, all right, this wins. And then the world went to AC power at that point. So
Yeah,
Edison was still locked into DC. He just lost.
Gotcha.
But Edison's the one that gets all the credit for power in general because
Yeah.
he's the light bulb guy.
And the telephone guy.
Yeah.
But
Edison was just a better salesman.
I was going to say, he was a better businessman.
He was a better businessman.
Yeah, and then Tesla's like, "We're gonna go to space.
Yeah.
I'm gonna harness all its energy.
So
I talk to aliens."
Tesla is kind of like Alex Jones.
He is.
He's like crazy smart.
Yeah.
And he knows his stuff.
Uh-huh.
But then he talks about crazy things that makes everybody go, this dude might be on something.
It's like when he
this
says
dude's taking methylene blue, I can tell.
it's like when Tesla was talking about like he would have flashes and he could like he was in a it's like he was receiving messages and like he was living in his head and like taking apart things and like didn't have to write down anything and like knew how stuff came apart.
I did hear that was that's a thing that a lot of high functioning people do.
Yeah, but in the 1870s,
Well, I mean
that sounds nuts.
Yeah, but he just nobody told him how to do that, and he just did it.
But like with flashing lights and like he said like he felt like a presence communicating with him.
Was this fallen angel getting him?
I had a theory that when it comes to energy, like there must be some kind of like possessive thing because like it's always every so often you get this person who has these same ideas and they're weird.
So are we saying okay? So Elon Musk, he's
he may
that
be.
of
He may.
our generation.
Yeah, I was gonna say he
Is
may
that guy?
maybe have the same position that Nikola Tesla had.
Possession,
That's a strong word.
son. From okay, yeah. I mean, if fallen angel is going to be demonic.
Mm-hmm. It would be.
That's
Especially the way that Tesla
Shrouded
was,
Realities
was
exclusive, right?
We
here.
are having
describing it. You know,
we're having Nikola Tesla top conversations right now because we are just bouncing.
bouncing, baby.
We are jumping so much.
Are we the next of our generation? We just hadn't got there yet.
I was seeing a flash as I walked in here, and I saw this thing, and I don't know what it was, but I think it was a message.
You're lying.
It was a message.
You're lying. I don't want you to be possessed by. Oh, here we go.
From the Watchtower.
I didn't know where he's going with that, but I like
The
it.
Watchtower spoke to me, and it said, "Oh,
I don't know what it said. I started that so well, and I just lost it.
You have me on edge.
Started a sentence.
Yeah.
You had everybody on pins and needles.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's going to be me this episode. I'm going to build everything up and just let everybody fall off of it. It's not there.
Maybe the Watchtower was trying to get people to go to shroudedrealities.com.
Shrouded Realities, the place that has the things."
What's their Watchtower?
We have T-shirts and stickers and just some knickknacks.
What other knickknack? We ain't got another knickknacks
Yeah.
Watchtower.
Paddywhacks.
Snow globes.
No,
No,
that would be ridiculous.
solid. I like the Watchtower voice. We're gonna use
Yeah.
that
The Watchtower,
as much
baby.
as we can. You're gonna stay in it. You ain't even kicking the button. Tell us what people need to do for the show.
You know, we have all these things. We've got a Patreon.
Here it is.
Jump on it.
Jump on it.
$2 a month.
Jump on it.
We also have, if you're listening on Spotify, you should definitely go leave us a 5-star rating.
Yes.
My Adam's apple hurts. You should go to YouTube and just hit subscribe. We're real close to 100.
I've got to stop.
that's right.
I've got to stop.
Thank you.
My brain's hurting from it. That's
Lack
too
of
much, and I
oxygen.
apologize to everyone that had to endure that.
Where are we at on subscribers right
We're at
now?
94 today.
94 on the dot.
We need to see 100.
I do want to see 100.
I want to see
Think we
triple
can do
digits.
it for the week's out?
Divisible by 3.
Yes, divisible by 3, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm obviously not the math boy.
You know what's interesting about the channel?
Tell
So
me.
we're getting good at like we got videos good or editing's getting better. We
Yeah,
just
we're
added,
getting there. Yeah,
we just
we're
added a
still-
voice and a character.
Daggum right, we did.
But you can go back and look at our old stuff, and it's pretty cute.
It's
It
say
is.
cute.
It's cute.
Cute
Wait,
with a
us trying.
Yeah, I was trying to be a
QT.
yeah. I pulled up the very first episode, which was the one right after Trump tried to get assassinated, and
He tried to
He
get
was working on
assassinated.
it. He was working on it.
they tried.
Okay.
But
Iran did, which
was-
that's significant today, isn't it?
yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, that was But it was funny. So go back and look at that old stuff, and then check out the new stuff. And
yeah, I'm trying to get a little better of tying when we have these episodes and we're resorting back to some of those older things. Maybe throw in a little flashback in there in some of our
Yeah.
shorts and stuff, so people can
Yeah.
just see where we were and where we are today.
Mhm.
I think it's pretty fun. It is for me. It may not be for anybody else. It's fun for me to look at what it was and what it is now.
I
That's
look
pretty
at
cool.
I look at us a year ago. I'm like, how cute.
Yeah. just three schmucks not knowing what they're doing.
Yep. They're in it.
You know,
And
we're-
guess what? Now we're three schmucks that still don't. We just have
We
cooler
just barely
lights.
know.
Yeah.
What, we
Yeah, now
just
we just have
barely know
cooler
what we're doing.
lights.
Got cooler lights and a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Let's get back to Tesla.
Yeah. That's why
So
we're
what
here.
do you think? Do you think he's just a weirdo that's really smart, or do you think he actually has some kind of divine or extraterrestrial contact that's giving him information?
You blew my mind with that, so I haven't had time to think about it, but it's
Yeah.
a very intriguing thought. Extremely intriguing thought.
Because you told me about the pyramid thing,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
which History Channel tied into.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of big ties. There was the Y-Files did an episode on it, and it
Yeah.
was mostly about the pyramid, but it tied to Tesla.
Yeah.
But there's a theory that the pyramids, and I completely agree with this part. It's definitely not a tomb. There's no way the pyramids are a tomb.
Well, they've discovered that even underneath the pyramids, there's more chambers of this
Yep,
thing. It's
there's-
not a tomb. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
But there's evidence pointing that the pyramids were power generators that could have powered the entire world through the ether wirelessly.
Wow.
But there's pieces
So a
missing.
massive Tesla coil, basically. Is
Well,
what that is?
exactly.
I watched The
Yep.
Prince of Egypt, the Disney movie, and you're wrong.
Yeah. That's right.
What does the Disney movie say?
It was a DreamWorks movie.
Was it?
Better get it
DreamWorks.
right.
Okay,
Yep.
never seen it.
The Prince of
pretty good.
Egypt. It was a solid movie.
pretty good.
I mean, it was a little biblical about Moses.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Solid.
From Hollywood?
Huh?
From Hollywood?
Moses?
Yeah, I mean, well, just the movie.
No,
in general.
DreamWorks.
Moses is from like Exodus.
So
Thanks.
you know the people
Yeah.
who make.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Just
Thanks for clearing that up.
Do you know the movie Shrek?
Yeah,
You ever seen
Those
those
Shrek?
guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like big Hollywood.
Yeah.
They're usually not.
They're like
yeah.
They don't think like us.
they're not Pixar.
Yeah, they don't think
Nah.
like
They're
us.
not Pixar,
They're not
but they're
Cars.
Cars is a different level of this for sure.
Interesting.
Toy Story way up there.
Goat.
Gotcha. But anyway, the pyramid was a power generator.
There it is.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But they said there is like evidence of like different chemicals and stuff in those chambers that if used correctly with some ancient technology, with some
like in
fallen angel-
barrels or like what are
No, it
they
was
talking
like-
about?
It was, like in,
Chemicals?
it was like in the walls. Like there's certain compounds and stuff in the walls that like the chambers could have been full with a certain chemical. And
that
then-
would produce light.
Creative electricity.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
some
They
sort.
said there was a-
Mercury.
said there was a gold tip on the thing.
Mm.
Stop. Just the tip. That's all I'm talking about. It's
Yeah,
just the
you're
tip.
just
of
talking
Don't
about
hold
the
it like
tip.
that.
Like that's where the
Don't
top
do
of the
that.
pyramid is. That's where the top of the pyramid
Alright.
is.
The tip, the golden
But
tip.
they said there's similarities between the infrastructure at the pyramids and the Tesla coil where he was going to power lights from New York to France.
Would that explain? And we're getting way off topic of Nikola Tesla here,
Not really.
but yeah, a little bit. What I'm about to say is,
Oh, okay.
but if
yeah.
that's the case, is that why we're finding pyramids in all these other places that are almost identical to what?
Yeah.
Just more hubs for
Yeah, just more hubs. It's the substation,
Maybe
basically.
maybe there were substations and just what do you call them, repeaters or something that's just strengthening the signal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're everywhere
yeah.
in the world.
I do think that points to signs of an ancient civilization, like
Sure.
prehistory,
Yeah.
Maybe.
pre-flood.
Because a lot of Tesla's ideas worked.
Yeah,
Right,
they
it
did.
did.
Yeah, they did. Even the wireless power through,
Yeah, I mean,
through the ground, they
there's,
worked.
there's a picture of him standing in front of like bulbs.
Yeah, fields
with
of
just
bulbs.
sitting there, and
Yep.
We need to throw some of those in, so
Yeah.
we'll forget. But remember this conversation happened. We'll throw those pictures in there.
Yeah, I wish the big one would have worked out. The what was it called?
The death ray.
No,
Oh.
it was a tower.
Well, he said he wanted to do that to give it to everybody, so it would be a deterrence. But that's what
That's what he
nukes are.
said. But I mean, if you offer it to Germany, they're going to eradicate. They're not doing good things.
Right.
Granted, I mean, there's an argument to be that we would do the same thing. But
I mean,
there's an argument
Are
there.
we any better?
Because
Yeah.
we did
Whoops.
Only difference is
twice.
the only difference is our concentration camps they don't talk about.
Yeah,
That's the only
yeah.
difference.
They were in the Midwest.
Yeah, they were in the Midwest and they were for Japanese people. And that's different.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I did want to do a show on that one.
yeah, that's
dirty.
one of those like, oh, well, that didn't happen.
Yeah, I remember being in high school and be like, what?
Yeah. They taught you that in high school?
Yeah.
We skipped
Whoa,
right
yeah.
over that.
I didn't hear that till way later in life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was
There
not
is
a
a
conversation.
memorial. There's a memorial in D.C. about it.
Wasn't that Wilson? Woodrow Wilson? Wasn't that the boy?
Uh,
He was during,
You mean Eisenhower?
yes, Eisenhower.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Eisenhower killed more
thinking.
people.
Wilson was the one that had the electric car in like the 1900s.
Yeah.
Driving around an electric car
Yeah.
with
And like
salt batteries in it.
Yep.
And he was
Yeah.
all about it.
Yep.
So
Then they just disappeared for
we could
years and years.
we could maybe shift to that conversation a little bit.
Mhm.
You sent us a video the other day on, I think it was from Redacted. We have had a couple of conversations about Redacted.
I like this stuff.
The other day you were talking about Clay Morris, the pilot.
Yep.
Clay Morris is the guy that runs that show.
No way.
Yeah, you were saying he was the pilot. He was the guy that was actually running the show.
No.
I'm pretty sure Clay is the dude.
No. I'm going to fact check that one.
All right, fact check. YouTube, go ahead and fact check us down at the bottom.
Yeah,
They
do
do
it
it anyway.
for me. Do it for me because
They're going to put
I don't
Nikola,
wanna look
Nikola
at it.
Tesla
Yeah.
Anyway.
fact check.
Talking about climate change and how we're using fossil fuels and that's contributing to climate change and all these things.
Yeah.
Look at Nikola Tesla's inventions of the time.
Mhm.
These are renewable energies.
Mhm.
Imagine if you had 125 years
That wasn't
to
stifled.
actually grow these technologies that, I mean, his Tesla coil, it did take some input of electricity, but it was like almost nothing
Yeah.
to power cities.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
talking a very, very small amount of energy and it would bump those numbers way up and you could run an entire city on it.
Yeah.
Rising tide.
So
man.
the Wardenclyffe Tower
That's
was
it.
was the one that was going to be the big one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the
big-
one he got from the
it's
JP
huge.
Morgan loan, right?
Yeah.
Because he got a loan for something else.
Yeah.
And then he did a back end deal.
That
It's
was
like,
solid.
I'll take that.
That was one of his big mistakes. was-
Yeah.
So they gave him a JP Morgan Chase.
the
Gave
guy
him,
himself.
Yep. Gave,
Yeah,
gave him
not the bank that's today.
turned
Yeah.
into that bank.
It turned
It
into
turned
that.
it,
He was
yeah.
one of the best bankers. They said greatest banking minds of the
Yep.
of the time.
Yep. Gave him $150K to build this tower. He got the tower built, and
What's
then,
that?
That's a
What is that
lot of
today?
money.
Yeah, and
That's
then,
a lot.
yeah. Then he ran out of money, and it was supposed to be building telecommunications
Mhm.
network type stuff, and that's what he was backing. And he lied to him at the beginning to get that $150K, but then he ran out of money and needed more. And he went back for more, and for some dumb reason spilled the beans and said, "Just kidding, I'm trying to power the world for free."
Yeah.
To the guy that makes electric wires, fossil fuels,
Well, he had a
train
huge
ba-
investment in copper.
He was a railroad baron.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, give me more money so I can shut down
So-
everything
Copper is,
you are.
copper is building the world.
Yeah.
So
Currently.
150,000 in 1901 to now is $5.6 million.
Ooh,
So 5.6 mil to build the Wardenclyffe Tower.
that's a lot of money. I mean,
Jeez.
but
Could you imagine going to a bank and being like, I need $6 million?
Yeah.
no, they would laugh at me.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "No, what do you have that's worth $6
Right,
million?"
because what did Tesla have as
Shrouded
collateral
Realities.
besides his patents? Because he had like 700 patents.
Well, but at this time, he'd done proved himself. He was
okay, so
they
he was
knew-
already.
Yeah, he was 40,
Okay,
50.
so JP Morgan was.
He's seen,
Well, I mean, he had,
he's seen
he
the
had built
potential in him.
AC power at that point.
Gotcha,
he was
gotcha.
the
And he
guy
had his own money at that point too.
yeah.
I mean, that wasn't J.P. Morgan money.
Well,
but
he didn't
had,
have near the money he had at the time.
Yeah.
Or
Tell that
before
story about him ripping up a contract.
Yeah, that was where I was going a minute ago, and we just
Oh.
pop, 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 pop. But he with Westinghouse.
Yeah.
Let me gather my thoughts here. Westinghouse funded all of this AC power. He was like, okay, yes, this is where we're going. Edison's going DC, we're going AC. Well, I want to say it was generators is basically what he was building.
Yep.
Was AC powered generators. And Westinghouse told Tesla that you will make 300 whatever a year off of this. Plus, we'll give you $2.50 for every one that we sell.
Okay. Sounds like a good deal.
That's a pretty solid deal.
Yeah.
Like you've got money
Yeah.
just all the time.
Royalty and perpetuity.
Well, Westinghouse started to have financial problems, and they went back to Tesla and said, "Hey, man, look, I can't pay you what I've been paying you. The company's going to go under. I can't do that."
Wow.
So Tesla just ripped the contract up and was like, "Oh, okay, I'll just keep doing it."
Didn't try to renegotiate or nothing.
He didn't say like, "Pay me when you can.
Yeah.
We'll get me back later." Nothing. He's like, "Nope." Pop, 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 threw it away.
Tons of money. And how much? You said it was like $300 million.
It was like they said it would be the equivalent of $300 million he would have been worth. And he just pop, 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 pop. That's my luck though.
Yeah.
That would be something I
Yeah.
did. I would do something that dumb, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing this for humanity.
Okay.
And that was his claim. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm doing this for humanity. So we have these things, and we've,
And he just got stifled.
And then he's feeding pigeons at the end of his life. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he won after all, right? Was he
Tesla?
happy? Do you think he was happy?
no,
no.
I don't think so.
I think he was just a madman.
I think
Maybe-
I think he lost his mind.
You brought it up in a previous episode, though. Like, a crazy mind might not be that bad. You know what I mean? Like, he's just living in La La Land. So
Yeah.
he didn't have the stress of money. He didn't have, he went through a lot. And
Yeah.
that may be where that craziness came from, was just the level of.
Well, there were signs early that he probably did have some
Like
mental
talking
illness.
Talking about turning flies into-
Yeah, talking to things like that, and like flexing his feet 135 times before he goes to
Yeah.
bed, only sleeping 3 hours a night.
Yeah.
I mean, things like that.
It's crazy he made it to that age.
I know, 86 is when he died, I think.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Well, there's people today that do that. I mean,
Yeah,
I want to say
86.
Elon Musk claims that he only sleeps about that long.
Mm-hmm.
Trump only sleeps about that long. What about old Trump in the middle of this?
Yes. Did you catch that?
No.
Trump's paternal uncle, his dad's brother,
Yeah.
shut down or investigated.
He ended
Tesla?
up with
Ooh.
he ended up with all of the
That's right.
he ended up with all of Tesla's things.
Yeah.
All his patents and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
His dad was, and it was government too.
And then
Oh.
things just ended up
No.
Or his uncle. I said dad. I meant uncle.
and things just are missing, like a whole bunch of it, like a death ray.
The death ray.
Donald Trump's uncle. It's
Oof.
pretty stinking close. We're not talking
Oof.
like a distant relative.
They gave all of these patents and things to like the sheriff's office, and the sheriff's office went and sold a bunch of it supposedly, but there's no record of it at all, which, I mean, you would think that there's some record of these things happening.
Yeah.
There's no record of it, and there's so many things. They said it was like 200,000 documents that they had from Nikola Tesla. And like there's a bunch of stuff that's just not in
Yeah.
it. Supposedly there is patents that exist today for free energy, but the patent office will say nope and will not give you a patent for it.
Really?
Yep, that
That's-
exists
Oh,
today.
that's right. That was
In
another-
2003, it was leaked that they actually reached out to the patent offices and said, you cannot do this. If it comes through and people are trying to patent free energy, you cannot do it.
Whose day? Is that FBI, CIA?
That's top. That's government. 100%. That's I don't know which part.
Pentagon.
Free. Well, you got to think there's a monopoly on energy.
Yeah.
If you're giving it away for free, you're
You have no
shutting
control.
down. You're
Yeah.
shutting down. Yeah, exactly. You have zero control because everybody's got it.
Wars are stopping because you don't
Yeah.
need
You don't need
Oil.
oil. You don't need all of those things.
Resources.
So the machine stops.
military industrial complex comes to a screeching halt.
Well, and what are most of these very wealthy people? Where did they get that wealth from? It's some level of energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rockefeller,
Yeah,
Oil.
that's where he
Yeah.
made his money.
Yep.
Carnegie, oil probably too, I think.
Yeah, there's some level of fossil fuel.
The Saudis.
Rothschilds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So the big players are gonna absolutely
They're gonna
nix
shut
that.
that down.
Big players, and that's not just necessarily government, but
Yeah.
just the shadowy government that.
So why
That
didn't they
runs
take
it
out
for real.
Tesla quicker? Then why did they just let him live? Why didn't
I
they?
think because he was crazy.
Because
Like, he
they
had-
could
yeah,
they
he
could call him the crazy guy.
Yeah, he had great
Huh.
ideas, but he was humping pigeons.
I guess what if they just let him? What did you
Just-
say?
He's humping
bumping him.
pigeons.
So what if they just kept him alive because his ideas are so good, but they just kept taking him from?
Maybe
Well, they did.
Maybe that's why they were hanging out in the hotel room.
Marconi.
That he died in.
What did Marconi? What was that his name?
Yeah, Marconi
Stole
stolen his patents.
radio patents.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
17 patents he used to make the radio,
Yeah,
and they were all Tesla's patents, and that's where Tesla actually sued him.
Yeah.
Like he was finally like, okay, guys,
Had
this
enough.
is enough.
yeah.
Like
It was too late.
And
I'm living.
it tied up into the courts until he died, and then right after he died, they said he won.
The only reason they said he won
Yeah.
too is so they didn't have to pay Marconi all of this money for all the things that he did. It went all the way to the Supreme
Bro,
Court.
Tesla was done wrong,
Yeah,
dude.
Tesla was done
Dirty.
real wrong.
So I'm saying he had a reason to be crazy. Like
Yeah.
like the guy we talked about with the 9/11 stuff.
hmm
You get done that dirty, you're gonna go nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was just one thing after another. And he was really, I truly believe he wanted to help humanity. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
But in the end, I guess that's what you get for being a nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you just,
Nice guys finish last.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know.
that's
a
the
mic drop
statement's
right there.
real. It
Yeah.
is.
Poor guy. That's it. That's a good mic drop. Nice guys finish last. Sorry,
Should have hit
Tesla.
it earlier.
Yeah, as soon as he
shoulda-
said,
I wasn't on it.
That's okay. That was a good, fun episode.
Had a lot of
was.
flow there.
We did flow. on
Had
that
some
one.
flow. I don't think there was any structure to it, but it was there.
Hey, with
Yeah.
today's brain rot society,
That's okay.
A sky.
Eric-
You gotta jump around to keep that brain stimulated.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd
That's
like
why
to
I think that's why
stimulate
this
it.
was fun for me.
Yeah.
I'll stimulate that brain.
Can't
That's
say
right.
that. Can't say that. It's gross. I'm sorry. Sorry,
Is
mom.
that brain stimulated?
Sorry, mom. Right here.
Get your shirts.
Get your shirt
Or
right here.
else.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for learning about Nikola Tesla, and
Learned a lot.
stick with us for the next one. For Stephen, Connor, and Joey, the Ruby, the podcast dog. See, I screwed that up.
Thanks.
Bye.
Anyway.